I don't make toys. I'm not that kind of elf.
Welcome back to Master the Fun and Elder Scrolls Online. Today on the Spell Focus series we have the next Necromancer skill from the Grave Lord's spell line, Blastbones. So this is actually a really cool animation spell. We'll have a look at it later. The cast time is instant. The target is the enemy. It's the typical long range 28 meters. The radius, you'll see what that's about, is 6 meters. The duration is 8 seconds. We'll also talk about that. And it is a Magicka spell, pre-morphed, and one of the morphs is Magicka. Summon a flaming skeleton from the ground after 2.5 seconds. The skeleton runs after the target and explodes when it gets close to them, dealing 6,000 flame damage to all enemies nearby. Currently at our level is 6,000. It will be higher, of course, at higher levels. So, and it creates a corpse on death. So that's cool. It hits all enemies within 6 meters, which is more or less. It's not really that big. I mean, 6 meters is, you know, practically point blank range. It's not far at all, but that's what it is. It's also a criminal act, so you don't want to be around guards when you use it. Okay, one of the morphs, the Magicka version of the morph, called Stalking Blastbones. Basically all the same, except for this one, the skeleton deals more damage the longer it chases the target. Now this is really interesting. This will be the version we will demonstrate, because it's a bit complicated again, whereas the stamina version is a lot simpler to, let's say, to figure out. It's basically just blast damage with disease. But with this, we'll be demonstrating and talking about the differences of what the Magicka version of the Blastbones, the Stalking Blastbones, does. Okay, the stamina version of Blastbones, which is called Blighted Blastbones. Again, everything is pretty much the same, except in this case, it does more damage. It's doing almost 9,000 damage, at least again at our level, and it applies Major Defile because it's disease damage. Major Defile to the enemy for 4 seconds, reducing their healing received and health recovery by 30%. That's pretty good. Again, it's only 4 seconds, but still, that could be a big difference, especially in quick battles. So it also creates a corpse, and like I said, it's straightforward. It becomes stamina and does disease damage, causing or applying Major Defile. That's pretty straightforward. So it's the stamina version, and again, it's quite a bit more on the initial damage, but as we will demonstrate the Magicka version, the Magicka can do quite a bit of damage depending on the distance and the time. The Magicka version is actually more about time. We'll get into that later. Okay, let's have a look at the champion points now that can benefit this spell and its morphs. The first being the Magicka morph, which is also the base spell, Stalking Blastbones. Elemental Expert, Elfborn, and Spell Erosion will be the passive champion points that benefit the spell and the Magicka morph. And as far as the stamina morph, the Blighted Blastbones, we have Mighty, Piercing, and Precise Strikes. That will be, or should be, benefiting that spell. Okay, let's have a demonstration now of what it looks like, what it does, and we'll talk about this. First, at short range, as you can see in the chat box there below, the blast dummy, or the blast dummy, the test dummy, the crash test dummy, the target dummy, whatever you want to call them, dummy, will give us the, as you can see there, it'll give us the result of the damage per second based on when you get out of combat. So as you can see there, that seems to be the crit number, the 13.5 DPS per second. And in a moment we'll see what the regular hit is, the non-critical hit, which is there, 7,700. And then we'll go to the max range. And if you want to know what your max range is, you can see the little, from your hot bar, there it goes, boom. You can see from your hotbar when it lights up, that means you're within range, and that's 28 meters for that spell. So, we give it a moment, we'll see, we did 15,000.5 damage for that one. Okay, we'll cast it again. In a moment. Now the thing about this is, if you remember what it said, it does 10% up to 50% damage. So it does 10% per second. Now if you look at how fast that went, that's only about 2 seconds. So at max range, you're only going to get about 20% damage. Which means what? You have to hope the guy starts running away from the skeleton, and you can outrun the skeleton. If you see the screenshot of the cover of the video, I ran ahead, I cast it. It takes 2.5 seconds for him to come out of the ground. I ran past him. I looked at him past me to go to the target, which means if a guy is sprinting, he's never going to get hit. But again, in chaotic combat, easily somebody could be running and the skeleton's chasing him, and if he catches up to him in 8 seconds, he explodes, which is fantastic because then you're getting the full 50%. But if he never catches him, he'll never get hit. So, it's almost like, well, this spell could actually miss, because the guy runs away so fast. So I'm not sure how great it is for a chasing spell. It actually seems to be very beneficial to be a chasing spell, but you got to hope the guy stops, and then you get the full 50%. But at a 0, as we are here, point blank range, it's a little bit less. It'll get maybe the 10% bonus, which, as you can see there, the base is 7,700 for short range. The long range is 8,300, as you can see above the short range message I wrote there. Above that is long range. So as you can see, we got 15,000, 14,000 on the crit. For short range, it's a little less. It's 13.5 thousand. So that's about it. That's a bit of an insight. I'm sure you guys can develop your setups around this. Of course, being Magicka, or this example of it being Magicka, you want to get max Magicka armor or Magicka recovery to keep your Magicka up so you can do the most damage possible, at least for the Magicka morph on the explosions. So I hope you enjoyed this little video. Leave a like, subscribe. It's free to subscribe. We also have Twitter and Twitch. And leave a comment below for any questions you may have. And enjoy the moment. And as always, have fun. Cheers.